Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about EC2 scaling, auto scaling. And we will also touch on CloudWatch as well. We're going to go right ahead actually, and we're going to open AWS console. Okay, sign in, and we can go to EC2 here, and we go to instances. We have So let me basically show you what this is auto scaling. Okay, auto scaling group. Let me just give you an idea of what exactly auto scaling means, what it does. So the idea is, let's say for example, we have right now two servers. Okay, right now we have two different servers. Okay, two instances in our yeah two web servers or any other servers. So let's assume that one of them is like down for some reason, or stopped, or terminated. Okay, or we lost this server, this instance. So what will auto scaling do is like basically it's going to check, it's going to monitor, okay, and it's going to get this that the server is down. Then if you configure an auto scaling group, like it's going to add, for example, it's additional instance. Okay, instead of it's going to create additional instance here, a new instance based on the template you define. Template is basically just like the settings and the image that you want to use in your auto scaling group. For example, in case you want to create a new instance, it's going to create based on a specific image, right? You create. So it will contain all the services and stuff you have on your configuration. Okay. So, for example, and then once, yeah, also it will give you an option to scale based on a specific metric. Like for example, let's say uh, your server is getting a lot of requests, okay, or it has high CPU utilization. Okay, if the CPU utilization exceeds on like by 50%, for example, okay, uh, then what it will do is actually then what it will do is actually yeah, if the CPU exceeds by it's going to increase additional server or instance, okay, to handle this workload. Then if it is less, for example, under becomes less utilization, then it's going to remove the additional instance. This is good for cost optimization also. Like let's say, yeah. So basically, that's the idea of auto scaling, and yeah. So let's go ahead to before we create. I want to create an auto scaling, but before we do that, actually, I want to do one thing. Here, I want to remove all the current instances that we have here because I created it before and I don't need it right now. Terminate all. Okay, we're not going to need it anyways. So instance type, yeah, yeah. Okay, once this is done, what I will do is go to auto scaling group. But before I go to auto scaling group, I have to go to launch template. Under instance, there is an option called launch template here. Okay, I'm going to remove this one. This I created again for test purpose. So let me delete it. And let me go ahead and create a launch template here. Okay. Launch template name and description. We have, let's say my launch template name is, yeah, you can put any name here. Like for example, I'm going to say, uh, yeah, Windows Server, Windows Server, uh, IIS template. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this. Yeah, just leave this one. And next thing, what we need to do is actually specify the application and the OS image or the AMI. Okay, preferably the one that we created before. This one. This we created this AMI. I told you AMI is just basically, let's say you have an instance and you installed a service like IIS web server or any other Active Directory or whatever service you installed there. Okay, you want to have an image for it. Okay, in case something happened to this instance, you can use this image to create an instance, right? Uh, Instead of having to add the role of the services again, basically. It's just a copy of your instance, exact copy with the application services installed. So this is one that we created actually for the Windows Server instance. We have IIS installed in it. I'm going to use this one, and the instance type I'm going to keep it T3 micro. Okay, and key pair I'm going to leave it like this. Subnet, again, the subnet we leave it. We don't create it on this level. We create this one, and the availability zone and subnet is created actually on the auto scaling. When we configure auto scaling, you have to select this one. Now leave it like this. Firewall security group, you can create security group or select existing one. So I think all we need is actually HTTP, right? HTTP, HTTPS. So just we can add this one for now, and let's allow. Wait, it's actually correct. Eight HTTP, HTTPS. Um, let's allow this one. Okay. Network configuration, storage volume, advanced detail. We have here. We don't need to do anything here actually. Okay. So I'm just going to create. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create the launch template. Okay, this is our launch template. Okay, we just created this one. Okay, so now after creating the launch template, we're supposed to go to auto scaling here. I'm going to remove this one because we don't really need it. Delete, delete, and delete this one. And also let's, yeah, now if you go back to your instance, actually it's supposed to, yeah, it's all terminated, right? That's good. So let's go ahead in our, to delete this one because we don't need it. And I'm going to create a new auto scaling group. I'm going to call it Win Server Scale. But before doing this, actually, or let's do this one. And there is one way I want to show you also. Okay, let's launch a template from here. There is an option here, launch template, right? We will select the template that we created. And next. And here, we don't need to do anything actually, but we need to select availability zone. Okay, the more the better, and the more availability zone you put it, it's better. So if we choose two, because yeah, it's better, and leave most of it to default. Load balancer. Okay, I want to attach a load balancer actually here. Okay, but for the time being, leave it. Let's do it without the load balancer. Okay, after I will show you how to do it with the load balancer, which is what we will use in the real world, right? Let's do it without the load balancer for now. Okay, and health check everything. ABS monitors the root volume. Let's enable this one. Health check grace period. The time period delay the first health check until your instance finish initializing. Okay, so the idea is like whenever the new instance is you start or you initialize the new instance, first time it's going to take some specific the period, right, for it to be able to start to be running, right? So we are telling the health check to wait before sending the health check. Just wait this grace period 300 seconds. Okay, and skip desired capacity. Okay, how many instance do we need? Okay, we need actually two instances. That's it. Okay, and you can resize. Okay, and minimum desired is two. That's it. We need only minimum two, but maximum it's actually it has to be more. Like let's say four, so it can scale, right? And automatic scaling option. So this is policy. Okay, we can specify a policy like based on what, for example, this one we can specify a policy to tell it based on what metric you can start scaling. Okay, but right now leave it like this, no scaling policy. Okay, instance maintenance policy, and leave this one as well for now. Additional capacity, additional station. So let's click next, next, and next, and create scaling group. So once we create the scaling group, okay, now we just wait for we go to this one and we go to auto scaling group. This is the one that we created. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. If you go to instance now, you're supposed to see two additional uh, uh, yeah, this one. You see this one? These are the two additional instances that was created after automatically when we created the auto scaling group. Try something actually. Okay, I want to try something different. So let's assume this we have two instances now running, right? Let's assume for some reason like this instance, okay, which is running, is actually terminated or deleted or something happened to it. Okay, it's down for whatever reason, which I'm going to delete it now to see what happens. Let me just refresh this one. Okay, note that we have only two now. Okay, you just wait and see and refresh, 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 refresh. Let's refresh again. It should actually create additional two. Yeah, so you see what happened now? It created additional instance here. Okay, it created additional instance for us. It noticed that there is one instance that's terminated and it created additional instance here. Okay, you see this one? So basically this is how it works. It added two additional instance. It used this image that I selected and it created two additional instances. Okay, yeah, so this is what it will do. And what I need to do actually is yeah, once we do this one, We go to auto scaling group, we select this one. We can see the details here. You can see the integration. You can see automatic scaling, like dynamic scaling flow policies and stuff. Instance management. Instance management, you can see that we have two here. Instances, they are healthy and they are created. And monitoring, you can see here uh, monitoring here. We can uh, alarm and everything. So let us just now do it with the policies, and we will do it with the load balancer also. Okay, we've talked about load balancer in the video before, in the second video actually of the series. Okay, so basically what we need to do to create a load balancer, we said that we need to create a target group, right? I have too many target groups here and I don't really need most of them, so I'm just going to delete it. Successfully deleted 4 target groups. Yeah, so I'm just going to create a new target group here. I'm going to leave it here as it is. Target group name, I'm going to call it TG target group, and target group for yeah, I'm going to call it target group for yeah, ALB. Okay, C group ALB. Okay, because I'm going to use application load balancer. Okay, we said yeah, the protocol I'm going to leave it HTTP because we're going to use ALB, right? So HTTP1 health check. Leave use this one test as health check because this is the one that we used before also. It's already in our, and click next. Here, actually, you're not supposed to select anything because we don't want to specify how many instances because in case we auto scale, we again based on a policy which we will do, we might be able, it might increase or decrease the number of instance, right? So I'm not going to select anything here. Okay, I'm just going to click next. Okay, and create target group. Done. Okay, so now if you go to this target group here and select only the target group that you created, you go to targets, you cannot see anything, right? No instance. Make sure this is done this way. Now what we need to do is go to the load balancer here, create remove this one first. We don't need this load balancer actually. Delete load balancer, confirm. This is the old load balancer that I created. Confirm. Done. So let's create a new load balancer. I'm going to create an application load balancer. I'm going to call it ALB. Uh, let's see, whatever. And it's going to be internal facing, of course. And I'm going to choose the availability zones. Okay, which are two. Okay. We can also add more because so they can put it for more availability. Yeah, it can be first one and second one for both the instance, and for the no, actually for the yeah, for the future case, right? If, in case we add another instance, yeah. If you go in our instance also, let's if you go in our instance, for example, if you no, if you refresh this part, yeah, this two that we created earlier, you can see the availability zone. It's A, and the other one is B, right? Different availability zone. So in case we scale, we add additional instance here. It will be another availability zone. It's better if we choose this one. And security group, we can leave it as default or add something. like HTTP, add HTTP, yeah, add this one, and listener HTTP port 80, and forget forward to target group. Let's go. We're going to forward it to the target group that we created here, and that's about it actually. Let's go ahead and configure, create the load balancer. Okay, yeah, we've chosen the availability zones and we've chosen the load balancer, right? So what we can do on this load balancer is if we go to load balancer now, here we have alb.s. Okay, and yeah, so the next step that I think that we should do is actually go to the auto scaling group. Okay, select this one for example. Okay, okay, no, or create a new instance for this. I'm going to create a new instance actually for auto scaling. I'm going to remove this one. This one we did it just to test to see the minimum configuration of auto scaling. But for more configuration, I'm going to delete this too. I'm going to delete this. Yeah, auto scale. I'm going to launch, create a new auto scaling group. Okay, so I'm going to call it win. Uh, just put it win AC or whatever. Auto scaling. Auto. Okay. Uh, I'm going to choose the same template that I created earlier. I'm going to click next. Here I'm going to choose the availability zones, which is A, B. Okay, okay. We can add actually A, B, C, D. Yeah, yeah. And so here on this option, before we selected no load balancer, right? Traffic to auto scale will not be fronted. Yeah. Let's go ahead and use attach and attach to an click attach to an existing load balancer. Okay, and choose from your target. Okay, so I click here. I choose the load balancer that I created, which is T group. No, this is actually yeah, yeah, it's correct. It's correct. So only instance targets that belongs to the same UPS. Okay. So attach a new load balancer. Okay. Load balancer name. Internet. No, this is just so we can create a new load balancer. But we want to attach an existing because we already created a load balancer, right? So let's go ahead here. I'm going to choose this one. This is the load balancer actually. It has ALBSC. Select the target group. I'm going to choose the target group here, and I'm going to leave most of this as default. Turn on elastic load balancing health checks. Yeah, elastic monitor monitors whether the instance are available to handle requests. When it reports an unhealthy instance, auto scaling can replace it in the next periodic check. This is important. EC2 Auto Scaling will start to detect an active health check performed by Elastic to avoid unexpected termination. The setting of this health check. Here we have turned on EBS health check. EBS monitors whether the instance root volume or attached volume stalls. When it reports to unhealthy volume, can replace the instance on its. Okay, okay. So yeah. So now let's click next. Desired capacity, I want two. Okay, and the minimum desired also is two. The maximum is four. Okay, okay. And what I need is actually here. What we need to do Okay, let me go ahead and refresh this one. Yeah, good. It's all terminated now. There's nothing working. Okay. Here we have an important option here, tracking target tracking policy. So we can click here, target tracking policy. We can define the metrics we wanted to scale, to check based on that to scale or reduce the instance, delete the instance. Yeah. So here we have metric type. If you choose average CPU utilization, what this means is basically if you're telling it like if the CPU utilization, okay, of one of those instances is greater than 50, then go ahead and create another instance. But if it is, yeah, okay. So basically, there is one more option here. We have application load balancer request count per target. Okay, application per request count per target. Okay, this is also we can say T group here. Let's say we get more than 50 requests and tracking policy, and we got an it will scale also. Okay, but what I want to do is CPU utilization because this is the one that we will use mostly. CPU utilization based on to scale based on the CPU utilization. Make the target value make it like 10%. Okay, because I want to check actually. Going to try to uh, we're going to try this. Okay, and next we have to just enable instance scale and protection, enable group metric protection. Okay, so now let me go ahead and click next. Click next here and next, and go ahead and create auto scaling group. So now that we create an auto scaling group, you can go to instance and check. Refresh, you will see additional uh, two are installed. Two instances are installed. Okay. Now what I want to do is go to one of those instances. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and now that we didn't add any security rules, I'm not sure how exactly am I going to uh, yeah, how am I going to Ah, yeah. So basically, what I need to do is go to one of this instance and try to get the password. Mm. We didn't add a key pair here. So taking the password is going to be a little bit tricky. I think we will have to use the same password we used earlier. Yeah. So getting the password actually is going to be tricky, but let's see the AMI here because we use this AMI actually to create permissions. Uh, and actions. Okay, so I'm going to try some of the password that I have. Okay, by default, I'm going to try this one. Okay, basically, also I want to show you what happened. Like there is a, if you go to CloudWatch now, CloudWatch. This is used to monitor. You said that this is used to monitor your instances metrics based on specified metrics. Like if you type CloudWatch here, this one CloudWatch. Okay. Now if you go to, let's say, where is the logs here? I think it's not logs. It's actually not metric even. Mm, not metric. If you go to the dashboard, um, EC2. It started here. Alarms, alarms. Yeah. You see, if you go to alarms here, okay, you're going to get this one. This is the one that we just created, right? This alarm. Okay, this alarm is created because of the when we set it up, when we configure it, the policy on the uh, on on the auto scaling group. Okay, it created these two alarms. Okay, so you can see this is saying CPU utilization greater than 10 for 3 data points within 3 minutes. Uh, yeah. So basically, what it means, this alarms they're just checking. Now there is an alarm actually. Let's go ahead and check the instances. You see now. Let's refresh this one. No, it's okay. I think okay. Okay, let's try to go ahead and use this public IP. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to access this one actually. I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to try to access this server based on password I had earlier. 1 second. Remote desktop connection here. I'm going to copy this one, paste it here, and try to connect. Cannot access. It's running, but there is an error. It seems like there is an issue here. Let me see what's the expected error during describing instance. Please try again to reload. Oh, okay, maybe no, I don't think it will affect that. Let me refresh it. Okay, let me refresh it and click it again. I think maybe the IP is different. No, it's same. Let's connect again. Yeah. You see what happened here? Actually, it created additional two instance here. Okay. The reason it created additional two instances because I set the auto scaling group. Okay, I set a policy here in the policy part. In the policy, okay. So what I did is I set a policy on the auto scaling group. One second, and that policy actually is a little bit. I set the CPU usage very low, so that's why it created additional two instances. But let me go ahead and go to one second integration, installation, activity tags. Let me check if I can even modify that. I should be able to. One second, actions. Yeah, edit. So desired capacity for okay, max desired okay, okay. This one is okay. Instance type okay, availability zone okay, load balance okay, health check okay, instance maintenance okay, additional what about the scaling? The scaling, no, the tracking policy. The tracking policy, not, I don't think I can edit it or change it from here. But let me see if I can launch and data my tracking policy. Okay, it's okay. Let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and do this. Change this one. Okay, let's just d- understand what happened exactly. So basically, what happened is because I set the CPU usage of this instance in the instance. If you go to CloudWatch here, for example, you see here we got an alarm, right? CPU utilization is greater than 10 for 3. Okay, okay. This is the warning. Once this happened, okay, when we it created additional two instances. Okay, it created additional two instances because of this warning. Refresh this one, and yeah, because of this. No, remove this one. Just refresh all instances. This is the instance. That's why if you go to instances now, okay, you will find four total instances. If you refresh here, you'll find four total instances. That's because I set on the auto scaling the limit in auto scaling configuration to 4. No, I mean to 10%. If the CPU utilization is greater than 10%, go ahead and add this one. Okay, and let me do it. Let's try this one more time. Let me delete this one. Okay, delete this instance. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so we can understand properly. And let's do something different now. Let's go ahead and install. Let me go ahead and remove all the running instance here. We don't need it. Uh, Terminate for now. Okay, so I'm just going to create auto scaling group. Okay, auto scaling group here. Also, one thing I wanted to show you. You see this one, the target group. Remember before when we checked when we created the load balancing the target groups, it was empty. Now you see that we have four. Okay, so This is one thing we need to know. Also, let's go ahead and create a new auto scaling group. I'm going to call it uh, Windows Server uh, group or something, and launch a template. Template, we're going to use the same template we created earlier. Availability zone, I'm just going to create. Also, if you notice here, I want to show you something before we move on. Also, if you notice on the instance part, you can see the four image that we created and terminated, that they are on a different. Let me go ahead and refresh this one. Yeah, the ones that we terminated, you see they are on a different availability zone, ABCD. So let's go ahead and add all the availability zone, because maximum we need four, right? So we will click on next. Your requested instance type T2 is not available for first availability zone. We need to the instance or choose other type availability zone for the okay, the first one. This is the issue. Let's just click next for now. Attach an existing load balancer. Choose the target group here and enable this one. Okay, click next. The desired capacity, actually I need two, and the minimum desired capacity is two. Okay, the maximum is actually four. Okay, so now let's set the target tracking policy. Instead of let's go ahead and try it with the average CPU utilization. Okay, I tried 10 actually, but I want to try something else now. Application load balancer request count per target. Okay, how many requests does the load balancer get? Okay, so what we will do is we will try to send a lot of requests using a for loop at 100 requests at a time, and then try to leave the target value as it is, 50 time. Okay, and but also I want to do something here. Disable to scale out. Yeah, launch before terminating. Choose a replacement behavior depending on your control auto scaling group. During, let's see what this is. During instance replacement event. Yeah, let's not. Yeah, this is actually important. Yeah, here what we are saying is basically launch a new instance, wait for them to be ready before terminating the others. This allows you to go above your desired capacity by giving, yeah, this is good. And terminate a launch, yeah, custom, set custom behavior. Okay, yeah. So for rebalancing new instance, will launch before terminating others for all other events. Actually, we can just leave it as it is. Additional capacity settings. Oh, yeah. And instance scaling protection. Enable instance scaling. Protect scaling. We can enable group metric here. Auto scaling group deletion protection. You can prevent force delete. Anyways, let's click next here. Click next. Click next. And let's see what happens. Basically, create auto scaling group. Okay, now that we created an auto scaling group, we are supposed to go ahead and see pending services. It's being created actually. Two, it's being created. Termination hook, abandoned behavior. We have policy here. One second. Do happens for instance when termination lifecycle of abandoned D2. Okay, and yeah. So now we can go to our instance. Okay. I think now it's going to create additional. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to create only two. Okay. Now I want to create to have a for loop. So let's go to our load balancer here. Before we do anything, let me just refresh this one. This is our load balancer. It's active. Let's go to details. Let's go to the DNS, which is this one. Let's try to access this one. I don't think we'll be able to access now because the instances are still not up, but we will be able to do it after once the instances are up. Two instances that we created. Let's go ahead and refresh this one. Yeah, the two are still not running, so let's wait. Let me pause the video. So, okay, now let's go to the instances. Okay, let me refresh here. Okay, I want to do something. We can check on alarm here. There is an option to see alarms here, or we can add actually alarms. Uh, yeah, no, or leave it like that. Okay, so if we go to CloudWatch here and refresh, you're going to see what happened just now. What happened exactly? No, no, because we only set actually the yeah. So basically, this is the benefit. Like yeah, this is one thing. Okay, yeah. So right now we need to go ahead and talk some go through the best practices. So mhm. So we went through the launch template. Yeah, this is basically just a blueprint for what the EC2 instance, like what OS, what AMI, and you just add this configuration. And best practices, yeah, it's always best to use Amazon Linux too. It's lightweight, and it's also optimized, AWS optimized. So you can use custom AMI and instance type. We can start small, scale later. Auto scaling, key pair. Oh, we know about this. Don't include subnet in the template. Yeah, this is important. Uh, we should define the subnet and availability zones on the auto scaling group, not on the template. Security group. Yeah, we can add security group. EBS always better to use GP3 and never use root credentials. Use IAM roles. And for auto scaling group, select at least two availability zones. We said that. And load balancer, use ALB for web applications. Okay. Health check, enable ALB health check. This is best practice actually. I'm just going through the best practice. When you configure auto scaling groups, make sure to enable ALB health check and set the grace period like 3000 seconds. Desired capacity, we have minimum. And the minimum best practice is actually one, and maximum depends on the traffic. And auto scaling, the best practice is to use target tracking when you add any scaling policy. Like for example, you can make a policy like you can say CPU is greater than 50% the utilization, add an instance. If CPU is less than 30%, remove an instance. Basically, that's how it works. Instance warm up time before instance is considered ready. Yeah, this is the warm up. The time instance is ready. Best practice configuration. Uh, use Amazon Linux. D3 small and security group enable TP, HTTPS, all this stuff. Add two or more and health check ELB enabled. So these are the common mistakes. You don't use load balancer. Load balancer are important actually. Uh, and if you use only one availability zone, it's better if you have two or three or more. And health checks are important. Yeah, CloudWatch actually is just it's used to monitor its performance, like CPU, memory, latency. So this is basically what the auto scaling group uses CloudWatch metrics to when you add a scaling policy. So to perform this one, the auto scaling group is taking the information from here from the from this metrics. Like metrics, numeric data, CPU utilization, automatic log, stores application and system logs. You can find logs on the CloudWatch. Alarms, this is triggers an action when threshold are crossed. Basically, we can create alarms. I showed you how to do that. Dashboards, events, common use case. Yeah. Use meaningful alarms like don't alert on everything, realistic thresholds, composite alarms. Don't say CPU greater than 50%. Say CPU greater than 80% for 5 minutes. Structured login, centralized logging here, attention 7 to 14 days, metrics, enable detail, tag everything, and use dashboard for visibility, automate response. So these are the best practices we have. Let me refresh this one. And we've talked about CloudWatch here. And let me see how much time we have left. And we've talked about CloudWatch. This is CloudWatch. Yeah. So we just basically create an alarm here. Click create alarm. And if you want to create alarm, you can create alarm. You can choose the metrics here. Let's say I want a metric for EC2 and scaling or per instance. Let's do a metric per instance. Where is my, I'm going to just to show you what it does. Status check failed means what exactly? Uh, uh, you can go here. Reports whether the instance has passed all status checks in the last 5 minutes. It be either zero or true. By default, metric is available at this. No, not this metric. I want a different metric. I want like like something I want to test here. Let's see CPU usage, and we must have other metrics also. For instance, like uh, credit balance, CPU usage, CPU utilization. No, uh, let's check system failed. Let's see what we have here. Reports whether instance has passed. Okay, this metric is telling you whether instance has passed EBS status check in the last minutes. Uh, no, network packet out, packet sent. Not this one as well. Mm, okay, let's do one thing. Let's try status check failed. Okay, let's just select this metric. Okay, and let's say if the is greater than if yeah, if it is actually one as a threshold, let's say one actually static check fails. I think one in the period of one. Oh, but static checks we will not be able to use this one. But let's choose yeah, let's choose one for now and see what happens. And in alarm we have here the metric expression, and we can add. No need to do anything here. Just click next. Just select existing SNS. The metric of expressions outside the defined threshold. The alarm has just started, not enough data available. Create a new topic. Name it. This is my email. This email I want. You must finish creating this topic and select an existing one. Yeah, so this is the alarm topic. Next. And this is the alarm name. Next. So let's go ahead and try to see. Let's create the alarm already. So we have an alarm here. Right now, the action is enabled. So nothing's supposed to happen. Nothing happened. But the static, yeah, yeah. So I want to remove this too actually. Clear selection. Just keep this one. So we add per instance. But the only thing in mhm, CloudWatch. Basically, that's how we add instances. We can check the logs here. We have log management and log anomalies, all metrics. So we can see the details here. Yeah, so basically that's it. That's it actually. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next session.